What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday, April 14th, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the best plays on the PrizePicks board for tonight's we have a massive 15-game NBA slate. Like always, guys, we're going to be utilizing the Fantasy Player Props Optimizer over at Upside to help us find the best plays over on the PrizePicks board in real time. If you're new to the channel, I use math and data to help find long-term profitable plays on DFS apps like PrizePicks that use fixed payouts. So if you want to learn how to properly profit long-term when playing on PrizePicks and you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please go ahead and do that now. Also, if you could throw a like on this video, really helps out the channel. And then make sure you turn on that notification bell so whenever I do post these daily pick videos, you get notified first, gives you the best opportunity to tail the slip in its totality before anything gets bumped or removed. Let's go ahead and talk about how we did on yesterday's MLB video. So close, crushed. Mike Burrows was an absolute disaster, actually. I don't know why I said it was so close, but we went 4 for 5. We 2 times our money. We have been red hot on these daily pick videos. So if you're tailing these slips in full, you're definitely profiting. Our individual hit rate has been off the charts. We were 4 for 5 in this video. We were 4 for 5 in last video. And the Thursday of last week, we were 4 for 4, or we were 4 for 6. So we've been absolutely on fire. So if you want to tail along, highly suggest doing so. Again, I'm not doing anything crazy here. I'm literally just pulling plays directly off of the tool. It's as simple as that. Using math, using data, trusting the sportsbook lines and odds. We'll get into all that in a minute. Let's go ahead, jump in. Again, massive 15-game NBA slate. Ton of good pitching matchups. Ton of good matchups in general. We're going to hit the PrizePicks board. We're going to find the best plays. Let's go ahead, give the Fantasy Player Props Optimizer a quick refresh and see what we have, if we have anything good. Now, some of these push props I don't necessarily like to take. If they're set to 4.5 or 5.5, it's probably going to be favored on the over or the under, depending on which way PrizePicks bumps it. So sometimes what I like to do here on my filters is I like to hide push props. Now, some push props can be good, but I'm not seeing anything here that makes me want to play any of these 3 push props in Framber Valdez, Brian Wu, and Shea McClanahan. So let's go ahead and hide push props. I'm also going to throw on my fair value presets. I'm going to do my TJ MLB here and apply it and see what we have here for value. Ooh, see, we get some really good plays with some decent book support. And I always like to look at DraftKings and FanDuel. Obviously, if I can get player props for Pinnacle, if I can get some book support there, I really like that as well. Pinnacle very sharp when it comes to the MLB player prop market, as is FanDuel, as is DraftKings, as are the peer-to-peers. So we have some really good value here. I think we're going to start at the top with Ivan Herrera under batter singles. No book support from Pinnacle or the peer-to-peers or FanDuel, but we do have DraftKings, so that's something to think about here. Let's go ahead and start there. Let's add in Ivan Herrera to start. And that was under 0.5 batter singles. We may remove it, depending on if we can find a couple player props here with more book support, like CJ Abrams, like Paul Goldschmidt, even Caleb Dern. You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that now. We're going to remove Ivan Herrera. We're not going to play Ivan Herrera. We're not going to play Julio Rodriguez. Not seeing anything from peer-to-peers or FanDuel kind of makes me a little bit iffy here. Obviously, great to see DraftKings. But this Caleb Dern play, we do have FanDuel and we do have DraftKings along with Caesars, Hard Rock, and all the other books that you can see here. So I like this a little bit more, knowing that we're getting backed by both DraftKings and FanDuel, who have this heavily juiced on the over. So we'll add in Caleb Durbin, over 0.5. Is it singles? Over 0.5 singles. Okay, cool. Moving on down the list, we got CJ Abrams over 1.5 HRR. No book support from FanDuel, but we have the peer-to-peers here. We're also going to be adding in Paul Goldschmidt over 1.5 HR as well. So we'll get CJ Abrams added first. Oh, what happened? CJ Abrams over 1.5 HRR. We're also going to add in Paul Goldschmidt under 1.5 HRRs. Really good value here. We took Goldschmidt under singles yesterday. We're taking his over HRR today. Again, we're just following the math, following the data. We're getting this at minus 119 odds in a 5-flex slip. We can see that Novig, Profit X currently have this heavily juiced on the over. DraftKings minus 140 as well. We're getting a way better bang for a buck on PrizePicks than we would playing this straight on one of these peer-to-peer sportsbooks or DraftKings. And again, we'll get into that coming up after we build out this slip. Ryan O'Hearn over batter singles looks pretty solid. I don't necessarily love, there's probably an apostrophe here, isn't there? Yeah. Ryan O'Hearn over singles. I don't necessarily love the singles props, but again, getting backed by really sharp sports books, we're going to take them. Let's also add in Stephen Kwan under batter runs. Stephen Kwan under batter runs. Perfect. Now, is there anything else here that we want to add? Ooh, Aaron Judge under HRR just popped up with 2.5. Let's get that added. Really good 6 leg. And that's going to do it. Just like that, we built out a profitable 6 flex slip over on PrizePicks using math, using data. Like I mentioned, guys, the whole purpose of this tool is to compare sportsbook lines and odds back to various DFS apps like PrizePicks, like Better, like Pick6, like Dabble, like Underdog that use fixed payouts. So what I mean by fixed payouts is you can see when we're playing PrizePicks, we just have more or less on these player props. When you play on a sportsbook, a traditional sportsbook, they have odds associated to their more or less, or their overs or unders as they call them. So what we're able to do here on the back end, and because PrizePicks operates like this as a fixed payout, we're able to figure out the individual legs that we're getting in all of the different slip types that PrizePicks offers. We all know that on PrizePicks, you have to parlay at least 2 legs in a slip. You can go up to 6. Now, all of those different slips that you enter on PrizePicks, whether it's a 2 power, a 4 flex, a 5 flex, a 6 power, they all have different payouts, and those payouts are set. So we're able to figure out the math on the back end and find instances in specific slip types where we're getting an edge over the DFS app like PrizePicks long term by comparing sportsbook lines back to that DFS app and where we're getting our individual player props at in that specific slip. It sounds complicated. This tool does all the heavy lifting for you. It really isn't that difficult. We have everything exactly where it needs to be. We tell you what percent odds you should be looking at for specific player props, for specific slip types that you're building. If you want to build out 2-pick powers, mathematically one of the worst slip types that you can enter on PrizePicks. In a 2-man power, each individual leg, so your more or less props, if I just had Caleb Durbin and CJ Abrams, both more singles, more HR. Each individual leg in that slip is equivalent to minus 137 odds. So if I throw $1 down, I get a $3 return in a 2-man power, right? We get a 3 times return. We get 2 times in profit. So if I put $1, I get $3 in return. 2 of that's profit. My total parlay odds are plus 200. Each individual leg is minus 137 odds. In a 6 flex, we're getting each individual leg at minus 118 odds. So it's vastly different. You can find so much better value and find edges long term when you're building out 5 and 6 flex slips, and mathematically those are the best slip types that you can enter. So if you're in a dub club or something like that and people are telling you enter a 2-man power, don't do it. You shouldn't be playing 2-man powers. You should not be playing demons and goblins. You should only be playing 5 and 6 flex slips. And that's how we came along and built out this slip here on PrizePicks. We got I guess I'm stuck in my throat and I can't get rid of it. I'm not going to cut any of this out. We got Caleb Durbin over 0.5 singles, CJ Abrams over 1.5 HRR, Paul Goldschmidt. Now that I think about this, I think we're going to remove Judge, even though he has technically a higher percent odds to hit. We're going to remove Judge. Because if Judge wasn't over, I'd be good taking Goldschmidt and Judge, but those kind of correlate with one another, having Judge and having Goldschmidt, and the fact that we have them flipped. We have a Judge under with a Goldschmidt over. That's not great. That's not what we want to take. So we're actually going to replace this with Framber Valdez over 4.5 strikeouts. Now, Judge can go under, Goldschmidt can go over, but we don't want to do that. If they were both overs, that's good positive correlation, but that's negatively correlating against one another because they can directly affect one another's outcome. So we don't. I mean, yeah. Let's do some digging real quick. Where did Goldschmidt bat yesterday? Let's see. Yeah, so Goldschmidt led off and then Judge right after him. So like if Goldschmidt gets on and Judge hits a double and scores them, those two work with one another. They're positively correlated. So we don't want to do that. So good thing we caught that quick. We're going to add in this Framber Valdez over 4.5 Ks. He's a popular play. He's hit in 2 of his last 5. None of that matters. Everything you can possibly think of is baked into these sportsbook lines and odds. So that's going to do it. That is the new slip. We removed Aaron Judge. Glad we worked through that. Ooh, Ryan O'Hearn over singles. Did we play that? Yeah, we did. Okay. So, excuse me, we have our 6 flex slip. We removed Aaron Judge. We got Caleb Durbin over 0.5 singles, CJ Abrams over 1.5 HRR, Paul Goldschmidt over 1.5 HRR, Ryan O'Hearn over 0.5 singles, Stephen Kwan under 0.5 runs, and Framber Valdez over 4.5 Ks. If we go 6 for 6, we 25 times our money. If we go 5 for 6, we 2 times our money. If we go 4 for 6, we 0.4 times our money. That is the 6 flex slip that I want you guys to enter. Go lock that in with me. Good luck with your tail, guys. I really appreciate you being here. If you did enjoy this content, if you did enjoy this video, please help me out. Please help out the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. That's one of the biggest things you can do. And then turn on that notification bell like I mentioned. And if you guys want to come check out Upside, there are 5-day free trials in the description below. Get access to our Plus EV plan or our Whale Watch tool for 5 days completely free, absolutely no charge. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Hopefully we can go 6 for 6 on this slip. I'll see you on the next video.